Welcome to Gardening with Ben, the podcast where we dig into the soil of our gardens and the depths of our green thumbs. I'm your host Ben, here to guide you through the joys of gardening from sowing seeds to reaping bountiful harvests. Each episode will explore tips, tricks and tales from the garden and allotment, sharing insights from ourselves and stories from our own back garden adventures. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just getting your hands dirty for the first time, there's something here for everyone. So grab your brew and gardening gloves and let's get growing with Gardening with Ben. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of Gardening with Ben. Well, in today's episode we're going to continue from yesterday's episode. Yesterday's episode was talking about all the jobs which needed doing in the garden and the allotment. So if you've not listened to that episode, make sure you go back and give that one a listen to, as that is important of all the jobs which need doing down in the garden and in the allotment. Well, what needs doing? What's this episode about? This episode is about all the things that we can start to plant in the garden and the allotment in April. And as I've said previously, obviously as now it's starting to get warmer, we can plant more and more stuff, so the list of things gets bigger and bigger. But hopefully you have got a lot of these started already, which we could have started in March. But yeah, a lot of these you can now start in April as well, now that it's getting warmer. And some stuff you can actually start outside straight in the ground because it's a lot warmer. But I tend to start stuff off still indoors because I wait until about May before I start planting stuff out personally into the ground with some stuff. And yeah, I'd rather grow it in the shed in the greenhouse just to make sure that I know it does germinate and that it doesn't get strangled by other weeds and stuff like that. So that is one of the reasons why I start a lot of stuff off in my shed. But yeah, here are the things that we can start to grow in April. We'll start off with vegetables first. Obviously, we're going to be talking about vegetables, fruit, and flowers. So the vegetables that we can start off this month are, or continue growing, aubergines. If you started growing aubergines, which is around January, February time, you can start potting these up now. It probably is too late to start aubergines off. If you wanted to grow some, you're best off buying some from the garden centre plant, as it's probably too late to start growing aubergine from seed now. So if you've started some off, start potting up your seedlings, being careful not to damage the plant. Beetroot. You can either sow beetroot in trays or directly in the ground in April, as the weather is getting warmer now. Broad beans. These can be sown directly straight into the ground at this time of year. Make sure they are protected though against mice and birds, as the mice will come along and eat them all. Broccoli. This is so expensive in shops, so why not try growing your own? All you do is snip off some when it's ready and let the rest grow. So try growing some broccoli. Now is the time to start sowing all them broccoli seeds. Cabbages. Now is the time to sow summer and autumn cabbage seeds. Cauliflower. Again, it's now time to start sowing cauliflowers. Why not try grow some purple cauliflower like I have done in the past, which I've had some amazing results from. Courgettes. Now is the time to be sowing these this month in the greenhouse and getting those going. Cucumbers. If you've not sown your cucumbers yet, now is the time to get them planted. The longer they have to grow, the better harvest you'll get. So if you're wanting to grow some fantastic cucumbers, get growing some this month. And the variety which I recommend, what I usually grow, is the Market More variety of cucumber. French beans. You can start to sow these directly in the ground this month that has been in prepared soil. Again, just protect them from mice and rats because they will come and nibble them, and also pigeons. Pigeons do love to come and eat the tops off them. So next up is globe artichoke and Jerusalem artichoke. I've never tried growing globe artichoke before, or Jerusalem artichoke. Globe artichoke are obviously in a globe shape, but Jerusalem artichoke, you need to start planting them from tubers, and this will produce great results next year. Not this year, next year. So if you're wanting to grow some Jerusalem artichoke, plant some tubers this month for great results next year. Kale. I've grown great kale before, and it will continue growing all the way up to November, December. And you can just snip it off as and when you need some. So if you're wanting to grow some kale, sow the seeds in pots, then transplant outdoors when they are big enough. Snip off as much as you want when it's ready for your Sunday dinners. Leeks. If you've not sown your leeks, this is the last month to get them sown for good harvests and big fat leeks at the end of the year. So if you're wanting to grow some leeks, this is the last month to get them sown. Lettuce. Start some lettuce off this month. Make sure you only sow a few though, as they will all often germinate and get clumped together in a seed tray. Just start a few off, and yeah, don't start the whole packet off for lettuce. Just sprinkle a few seeds and you will get some great crops. Marrows. Like courgettes, marrows can be planted this month. Why not try and see how big you can grow a marrow? Onions. If you're growing onions from sets, this is the month to plant them. Make sure the ground is prepared. Also, net them, as birds like to pull them up and eat the tops off them. Parsnips. Now I need to get some parsnips in. These can be sown straight into the ground now. You don't pull these up though till after the first frost of the year, as that gives them the flavour. So you won't be looking at pulling your parsnips up till November. So think of a space that you won't be able to use until November time and sow them there. Peas. Start sowing these directly into the ground and they will never make it home. Trust me. You'll be eating them at the allotment before you even get them home. You'll be shelling them and eating them down at the plot. I always do. I just pick them and eat them raw from the plant. Peppers. Start potting up your pepper seedlings this month. Potatoes. This is the month you can plant out your potatoes in the ground. Did you know you don't have to dig a trough for? Many use bulb planters to make the hole. Rather than dig a massive trough, just use a long bulb planter and plant them that way. It saves so much hard work and back breaking. Pumpkins. Start sowing pumpkin seeds this month. Have a little competition and see who can grow the biggest pumpkin. The question is, will you be able to move it once you've grown it though? Radish. Keep sowing radish seeds for continuous harvests throughout the year. Radish is one of the fastest growing vegetables, and yeah, mine's growing really fast already. Runner beans. I was talking about this in my other episode. This is the month to sow your runner beans. Sometimes it's best to sow them in pots first in the greenhouse so that the mice don't pinch the seeds and the birds can't eat the tops off the shoots. Spring onion. Continue to sow spring onion this month for your harvests for your salads. Now, spring onions, a lot of people get mistaken and they tend to plant them in lines. What you can do with spring onions is just plant them in bunches and they will be fine. So, like, start growing them off in seed cells, and rather than divide them all, just plant the seed cell all together and let it be a bunch. That's how you grow spring onions. You don't grow them individually in lines, you grow them in bunches and you get better crops from them. Squash. Like pumpkins, these can be sown this month. They take a long time to grow, so start your seeds off now in the greenhouse. Swede. These can be sown straight into the ground this month. They will need thinning out when the plants are big enough though. Sweet corn. If you've not tried growing sweet corn before, you are certainly missing out. Some sweet corn kernels this month in pots in the greenhouse, and you will be harvesting your sweet corn around September time. And trust me, it tastes absolutely fantastic. Tomatoes. Start sowing your tomatoes if you've not sown them, but start potting them up as well. You should have actually started them off like around March time. I started mine off around March, so hopefully they'll start shooting through the soil soon. They're not germinating yet. Hopefully they do, and hopefully we can start potting them up this month. But be careful not to damage the plants. Fruit trees and fruit bushes. So what can we do with fruit trees and fruit bushes this month? Blackberries, you still have time to plant blackberry canes, but make sure you plant them somewhere where you can support them. The best place to plant a blackberry is down the side of an allotment or a garden so that you can trail it down the fence or down the hedges at the side. Fruit trees, it's too late to plant bare-rooted fruit trees. You can still pot up pot fruit trees though, but yeah, don't be planting fruit trees this month. Melons. If the weather is warm and sunny and you have a greenhouse or a pond tunnel, you could try growing melons. I'm growing some this year. Sow some seed this month in a greenhouse or a heated propagator. Raspberries. If you've not planted any raspberry canes yet, you've still a chance to get them planted. Be careful where you plant them though, as they do spread like weeds and the roots go everywhere and they'll be popping up everywhere, between paths, between everywhere that they can creep through. So do watch out when planting raspberries. Strawberries, why not try growing some strawberry seeds this month? They will fruit next year if you start growing strawberry seeds this month. What flowers can be planted this month? So, the flowers that can be planted this month are lilies. These can still be planted in pots for this month for fantastic blooms and fragrance in the garden. Marigolds, they're so easy to grow. Sow some seeds in a greenhouse this month for amazing colour in the summer. Nasturtiums, plant these out in the garden this month. Make sure you plant them in poor soil rather than rich soil, as that is the soil that they prefer. Petunias, why not have some amazing hanging baskets in the garden this year and sow your petunia seeds for fantastic blooms. Now this is the one that I am definitely growing. Sunflowers, it's always great to have some fun in the garden, so why not see who can grow the tallest sunflower? Sow these in pots in the greenhouse this month and see who can grow the biggest sunflower on the allotment or garden. So that is everything that you can sow this month in April. As you know, there's a lot of stuff that can be sown. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for this year. We've got so much growing and so much going on down at our allotment that it's going to look absolutely amazing. And hopefully I get lots and lots of flowers growing. So make sure you stay tuned. Follow my Instagram and my TikTok to keep up to date with all my pictures and all my socials. And until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben, everyone. And that wraps up another episode of Gardening with Ben. Thank you for joining me in this journey. Remember, every seed planted is a step towards a greener world, and every day is a chance to grow something beautiful. Keep nurturing your gardens and your souls. Until next time, I'm Gardening with Ben, reminding you to let your garden be your sanctuary. Happy gardening and see you in the next episode. Remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben.